accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act pursuant to Public Laws 1975. Said notice was advertised in the Beacon and was posted on a bulletin board showing the time and place of the meeting. Will everyone please rise and salute the flag. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item 1, presentation from Rotary Club of Forked River.
Good evening. My name is Diamond Francis. I am the outgoing president of the Rotary Club of Forked River. I just want to come this evening and make a presentation to our emergency services. We all know that our emergency services do a great job serving our community, and we just want to say a moment of thank you to all of them this evening with donations to the organizations. So if there's representatives from the Lacey Township Underwater Rescue, please come forward. Thank you for your service. Thank you very much. Lenoka Harbor EMS. Oops.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for your service. Thank you. Lacey Township EMS.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Bamboo Lakes Fire Department.
Don't have a representative.
We can,
We must have come now.
Thank you so much. Lenoka Harbor Fire Department.
And I don't have a
We
representative.
have a representative. We'll get that over to them. And the Forked River Fire Department.
And I don't see them here either.
Okay, well, we'll get that over to them.
Yes.
On behalf of the Township Committee, just want to thank you for all your efforts in the Rotary Clubs. We consider them a partner of the town, and you really do a fantastic job of fundraising. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And I just want to make one last mention. Last Tuesday, the Rotary Club was awarded the Rotary International Presidential Citation on behalf of the entire Rotary Club of the entire world. And not only was our Rotary Club awarded that citation, but the Interact Club over at the high school was also awarded the International Rotary Presidential Citation as well. So not only are our efforts being known from our own club, but our club at the high school as well. So
That's great. Yeah, the Rotary's efforts are tireless. Ron could just beat us all up for tickets for tonight. So,
yes.
4 more tickets gone.
Excellent, yes. So thank you very much.
thank you. Item 2, proclamation for Search competition.
I will read this. Whereas Seaperch is an innovative underwater robotics program that equips teachers and students with the resources they need to build an underwater remotely operated vehicle in an in-school or out-of-school setting. Whereas the Seaperch program provides students with the opportunity to learn about robotics, engineering, science, and mathematics, STEM, while building an underwater ROV as part of a science and engineering technology curriculum. Whereas on April 19th of 2016 at Rowan University in Glassboro, Team Mantis Shrimp represented the Township of Lacey High School and placed first in the Seaperch Regional Competition. Whereas Team Mantis Shrimp placed 5th in the obstacle course portion of the competition, 2nd place in the skills portion, and 1st in the presentation portion, giving them a grand total of 75 points out of a possible 80 points. Whereas on May 21st, 2016, at Louisiana State University in Baton Rouge, Team Mantis Shrimp was represented the Lacey Township High School, placed 2nd in the National Seaperch Challenge out of a field of 204 teams nationwide. Now therefore, I, Stephen Kennis, Mayor of the Township of Lacey, on behalf of myself and the Township Committee, do hereby extend congratulations to Jessica Randonsky, Daniel Reed, Joseph Nagy, and Colin Meehan for their work ethic, outstanding dedication, and performance, and to the leadership and encouragement of their students, John Sotero and John Kazan. Would you guys all step up front, please?
Congratulations, guys.
She was the brains behind the operation.
Yeah.
I know it. I know. There's no doubt about it.
Thank you.
Now, a little bit, they had to fundraise all their own money in order to be able to go to this competition, so I didn't know if anybody wanted to talk a little bit about that, and who helped raise all your funds.
Well, actually, at the moment they had started, at the time we had won the state competition, we got invited to a national competition. We didn't have the funds, and so Joe had started the GoFundMe page, but the high school was able to step up, the Board of Education was able to fund the trips we got to go on their bills to bring us down there on behalf of the board. So I can appreciate, thanks to the board for giving them the opportunity to go down there. I think it was an awesome experience, and of course they did well. So.
Yes, very well.
I just want to make note that Community McDonald's the one that brought this to our attention, and he couldn't be here tonight. He wants to apologize for it. But I did read a little bit about it. So you guys got the Quality Award for Robustness. Is that right?
Yeah. There's only several. There's only maybe 3 special awards out of the whole competition, and they received the Robustness Award, which is basically based upon their design, how thorough it was in terms of all the different attributes they built it. Dan actually brought the sea perch here because we've talked about it. Everybody, what does that mean? What does it look like?
You actually carry him around the car all the time.
Yes, you never know when it'll be a national competition or.
We had a lot of different surface nationals.
So that's the robust design.
So we'll get to the camera so Mr. Lido can get it on camera for us.
And so in the competitions, they're maneuvering that around through an obstacle course as well through a challenge where they're releasing golf balls, tennis balls, and wiffle balls per se, and trying to put them in certain areas, designated areas. So the competition, national competition, there's also teams from Virgin Islands and Australia. So there's a lot of.
Pretty happy about the Australia beat.
Great job. Anybody?
Now, you guys are seniors, or,
I'm a senior.
and where are you going off to college?
Brown University,
And what are you studying?
computer science.
Anyone?
Yes, guys, ladies, congratulations. I honestly, Tim had told me about what it was all about, when I heard the name, I was like, what the heck is it? I had no idea what he was talking about, but it meant a lot to him, and we're certainly very proud of you. It was nice that the school stepped up and covered that. With your talent, you have to put it towards what's important, not fundraising. We wish you the very best for these years, and move on to your next education.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Number 3, one-day social affairs permit. Lacey Elks
I
Lodge.
just need GEP authorization for the Lacey Elks Lodge to hold one of the social fair on June 18th at their facility for an autism life run. Motion?
Move it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, we're going to go
We need a motion to adjourn this meeting.
the motion to adjourn.
Move it. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, so we're going to go right into the township meeting, so if anybody would like to leave at this point, you're more than welcome.
Run! Can we just get a picture of you up front, please? Thank you.
What?
Okay.
And you are?
That's fine.
Thank you.
Take one. Everyone ready? Yes. Okay, you go next. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you guys
And
very
then
much.
Jeff is here. You don't want to be again.
Adequate notice of this meeting has been given in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act pursuant to public laws of 1975. Said notice was advertised in the Asbury Park Press and Lacey Meeting and was posted on the bulletin board showing the time and place of the meeting. Would everyone please rise and salute the flag. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item 1, second reading of ordinance 2016-11, providing for funding for the 2016 capital improvement in projects and equipment.
In order to the Township of Lacey County, Ocean State, New Jersey, providing for various capital improvements and the acquisition of various capital equipment appropriating $1,171,000 therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $850,675 in bonds and notes to finance the same, a portion of the cost therefore. This is for our 2016 capital improvement projects. For the items that we're looking to purchase and complete this year is a new fire truck for the Forked River Fire Company, 3,000-gallon pumper. Estimated cost is $750,000. Next is heavy-duty public safety equipment with a total appropriation of $45,000. Public works equipment for a 10,000-pound truck lift and a 30,000-pound truck lift. Total cost is $50,000. Paving and drainage improvements to various streets within Bayberry Village. This will be phase 2, $286,000. HVAC system for the police department, an additional $40,000 is needed for that. So the total amount that we're borrowing is $850,675.
With the second reading, I'll open up to the public.
Seeing no comments, close the floor.
Second.
Okay.
All in favor?
Motion on the ordinance? Motion on the ordinance?
Move it.
Mr. Curatolo?
Yes.
Mr. Quinn?
Yes.
Mr. Juliano?
Yes.
Mayor Kennas?
Yes. Second reading of ordinance 2016-12, authorizing the sale of block 4005, lot 7.
In order to the Township of Lacey County, Ocean State, New Jersey, authorizing the sale of a vacant land known as block 4005, lot 7, pursuant to NJSA 48:12-13B5, and vacating the public right of way. This is a 3.21 piece of property, which is a total of 33 feet wide, so it's very long. It's more like an easement, and we are offering it to sale to the two adjoining property owners. It is west of the Parkway, adjacent to, I'm going to say Brick Wall Corporation, and the minimum bidding price is $10,000.
Being second reading, open up to the public.
Seeing no comments, motion to close the floor. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion on the ordinance?
Move
Mr. Quinn?
Yes.
Mr. Curatolo?
Yes.
Mr. Juliano?
Yes.
Mayor Kennas?
Yes. Resolution 2016-160, approving the fireworks display.
Resolution Township of Lacey County, Ocean State, New Jersey, approving the public display of the Lacey Country fireworks in accordance with the guidelines of the State Division of Fire Safety. This is obviously been approved in the budget, and plus Excellent does pay for the cost of the fireworks. It will be on July 3rd with a rain date of July 5th, and in accordance with state guidelines, we need to adopt this resolution each year.
Motion?
Move it. Second.
Mr. Curatolo?
Yes.
Mr. Quinn?
Yes.
Mr. Juliano?
Yes.
Mayor Kennas?
Yes. Resolution 2016-161, reappointing the municipal court judge.
Resolution Township of Lacey County, Ocean State, New Jersey, reappointing Damian Murray as the municipal court judge for the Township of Lacey. Mr. Murray's term expires the end of this month. The reappointment is effective July 1st and runs through June 30th of 2019.
Motion?
Move it. Second.
Mr. Quinn?
Yes.
Mr. Curatolo?
Yes.
Mr. Juliano?
Yes.
Mayor Kennas?
Yes. Resolution 2016-162, authorizing the appointment of a laborer for the Department of Public Works.
Resolution Township of Lacey County, Ocean State, New Jersey, authorizing the employment of Matthew Bentley as a full-time laborer for the Department of Public Works. His effective hiring date is July 5th, 2016, and this is a replacement position, not an additional position due to a young man who has resigned.
Motion?
Second. Mr. Juliano?
Yes.
Mr. Curatolo?
Yes.
Mr. Quinn?
Yes.
Mayor Kennas?
Yes. Resolution 2016-163, authorizing the appointment of a substitute building subcode official.
Resolution Township of Lacey County, Ocean State, New Jersey, authorizing the employment of John Curtin as a temporary substitute building subcode official for the Township of Lacey. This is a substitute on an as-needed basis when we have conflict work or that the full-time person is out on vacation.
Motion?
Move it. Second.
Mr. Curatolo?
Yes.
Mr. Juliano?
Yes.
Mr. Quinn?
Abstain.
Mayor Kennas?
Yes. Resolution 2016-164, renewing retail consumption licenses.
Resolution Township of Lacey County, Ocean State, New Jersey, renewing plenary retail consumption licenses in the Township of Lacey. We have renewed some in the last meeting. The last three to renew is PC at Southwinds, Captain's Inn Restaurant Company, and Route 9 Restaurants Incorporated.
Motion.
Make the motion. Second.
Mr. Juliano?
Yes.
Mr. Quinn?
Yes.
Mr. Curatolo?
Yes.
Mayor Kennas.
Yes, resolution 2016-165, renewing club liquor licenses.
Resolution to Township of Lacey County, Ocean State of New Jersey, renewing club liquor licenses in the Township of Lacey. The last three to renew are Lacey Upslodge, Forked River Memorial Post, and Forked River Columbian Club.
I'll make the motion. Second.
Mr. Juliano?
Yes.
Mr. Quinn?
Yes.
Mr. Curatolo?
Yes.
Mayor Kennas.
Yes, resolution 2016-166, supporting Senate Bill S-2254, Assembly Bill A-3821.
Resolution to Township of Lacey County, Ocean State of New Jersey, supporting Senate Bill 2254 and Assembly Bill 3821, which affirm the legislative intent of the Fair Housing Act. We are in a consortium with regards to our numbers for our COA units and affordable housing. We have been asked by the consortium to pass this resolution in support of these Senate bills to hopefully help us with our liability for our COA housing.
Motion.
Move it. Second.
Mr. Quinn?
Yes.
Mr. Curatolo?
Yes.
Mr. Juliano?
Yes.
Mayor Kennas.
Yes, resolution 2016-167, renewing membership in the joint insurance fund.
Resolution to Township of Lacey County, Ocean State of New Jersey, renewing membership in the Ocean County Municipal Joint Insurance Fund. This is through December 31st of 2019.
Motion.
Move it. Second.
Mr. Curatolo?
Yes.
Mr. Quinn?
Yes.
Mr. Juliano?
Yes.
Mayor Kennas.
Yes, resolution 2016-168, authorizing the tax collector to participate in the electronic tax sale.
Resolution to Township of Lacey County, Ocean State of New Jersey, authorizing the tax collector to participate in the pilot program for the electronic tax sale, which is run through the Division of Local Government Services.
Move it. Second.
Mr. Quinn?
Yes.
Mr. Juliano?
Yes.
Mr. Curatolo?
Yes.
Mayor Kennas.
Yes, resolution 2016-169, fixing the cost of in-lieu tax sale mailings.
Resolution to Township of Lacey County, Ocean State of New Jersey, fixing the cost for the in lieu tax sale mailings at $25 per mailing. This is a companion resolution to the prior resolution with regards to the pilot program, and the cost it is that it's charged to the delinquent account for the mailings that are required by law. They have to go out to the lien holders and delinquent taxpayers.
Motion.
Move it. Second.
Mr. Quinn?
Yes.
Mr. Juliano?
Yes.
Mr. Curatolo?
Yes.
Mayor Kennas.
Yes. Resolution 2016-170, canceling taxes on properties acquired by the township.
Resolution of Township of Lacey County, Ocean State of New Jersey, authorizing the tax collector to cancel taxes due for property owned by the Township of Lacey. These properties were transferred to the Township of Lacey. They are in a non-buildable area, and we are canceling the taxes that are owed on them. And totally, there's less than $200 that were owed on the three parcels.
Motion.
Move it. Second.
Mr. Curatolo?
Yes.
Mr. Quinn?
Yes.
Mr. Juliano?
Yes.
Mayor Kennas.
Yes, resolution 2016-171, authorizing the refund of deposit monies.
Resolution of Township of Lacey County, Ocean State, New Jersey, authorizing the refund of deposits held for the use of municipal facilities.
Move it. Second.
Mr. Quinn?
Yes.
Mr. Curatolo?
Yes.
Mr. Juliano?
Yes.
Mayor Kennas.
Yes. Resolution 2016-172, authorizing the payment of township bills.
Resolution of Township of Lacey County, Ocean State, New Jersey, authorizing the payment of township bills in the amount of $4,924,250.73.
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Quinn?
Yes.
Mr. Juliano?
Yes.
Mr. Curatolo?
Yes.
Mayor Kennas.
Yes. Monthly reports.
Tax collector for the month of May collected receipts in the amount of $10,870,293.06. Recycling department and road opening permit, recycling department collected receipts in the amount of $1,468. Road opening permits for the month of May were in the amount of $17,010. Truck parking in the amount of $250.
Oh, sorry.
Community development collected receipts for the month of April in the amount of $93,208.71. Municipal clerk's office for the month of May collected receipts in the amount of $31,597.36. For the month of April, the tax collector collected receipts in the amount of $5,185,253.57. Motion to accept the reports is read.
Move it. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to approve caucus meeting minutes of May 26, 2016.
Move it. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to approve township meeting minutes of May 26, 2016.
Move it. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to approve raffle license applications for the BPOE Elks Lodge and the Lacey Girls Softball.
Move it. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to approve membership in the Winoka Harbor Fire Company for Tyler Lair and Nicholas Lane.
Move it.
All in favor?
Aye.
So,
And it's resolution 173, it's a resolution of Township of Lacey County, Ocean State, New Jersey, appointing Michael DeBella as Emergency Management Coordinator for the Township of Lacey to fill the unexpired term of Dave Paparota. Chief Paparota has resigned as the Emergency Management Coordinator effective May 31st of this year. Obviously, we have a deputy, but I do need a coordinator, and Michael DeBella will be the coordinator to fill the unexpired term through June 30th of 2018.
motion?
Second.
Mr. Quinn?
Yes.
Mr. Curatolo?
Yes.
Mr. Juliano?
Yes.
Mayor Kennas.
Yes.
That's all I have to add.
Comments from the committee? Deputy Mayor Capella.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to congratulate the students that were here. We have very little, anyone has very little more important than their future. They're representative of some of the finest we have here in Lindsay. Look forward to seeing and reading about their successes. Earlier today, we were able to meet the mayor and myself with a representative from Congressman MacArthur's office. And let me first say, and be above board as I have been here several times, and Congressman MacArthur is a friend to Lacey Township. He and his staff communicate with us. They keep us in the loop. There are advocates in Washington, D.C. Appreciate very much that relationship. And some of the topics that came up today that I want to report to our residents, we asked the mayor and myself what are some of the challenges that we're facing. We of course brought up the nuclear plant, and to have a friend and a colleague like Congressman MacArthur in his office help through the bureaucracy, help through some of the land use nuances there, and to make that an attractive plot for a new producer of energy or some other like business. That relationship should bear fruit in the future. Very happy to have that relationship here and that ally here in Lacey Township. This coming Saturday, Lacey United Methodist Church is going to have the Shore Fest. Anybody that does not like me will have the opportunity to dunk me in a baseball game. I think I was dunked 70 times last year, and the water was brackish because I had third shift. But it's all part of the gig, and I look forward to it. Hopefully some of the young kids will have some fun. There's much there, great family fun, and it's all for a good cause for our friends and neighbors of Lacey United Methodist. Hooked on fishing, not on drugs. Park at the Applebee's, it's this Saturday. Should be a large crowd in Mastaka Lakes. The event is free. It's an evidence-based program as part of the Lacey Municipal Alliance. Really hope that we have a good turnout over there. It's a lot of fun. Again, these lakes will be stocked. Again, you can park right up the street from Cafferty's. It will be right there in that large parking lot near Retro Fitness. Fishing will be free. Look forward to seeing a lot of the families out there. And again, we just hit the point home. Today we met with Ms. Peterson from Congressman's office. Really looking forward to, and we've had a good relationship, so I have every confidence in that office. I just wanted to report that to our friends and neighbors here tonight. That's all I have.
Thank you, Mayor. Just to touch on a few things that Pete did, which I was going to, but that's great, Pete.
We'll talk next time. Sorry about that.
No, that's good. I just wanted to let everybody know too, Popcorn Park Zoo this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, have Rock to Adopt. It's going to have music, vendors, a lot of things going out there for the kids and everything. So I'd like to see a lot of people show support. Also, Lacey Township Beach Bash. It's Saturday, June 18th. Lake Barnegat Beach is second. Festivities at the second lake, I'm sorry. Festivities begin at 12 noon. Fun for the whole family, treasure hunt, games, music. They'll be there at DNA, a Caribbean infused pop duo. Refreshments will be available to purchase. We are celebrating 50 summers of Lacey Beach Patrol there too. Other than that, Mayor, that's all I have. Other than Independence Day celebration will be Sunday, July 3rd, rain date July 5th at Lacey Township High School. Festivities begin at 7:30 p.m. Fireworks begin at 9:15 p.m. Generously supported by Exelon. Other than that, that's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you, Nick.
By the time I'm done, you'll-
I know, I'm sorry.
to thank Rotary for being here before. As the mayor said, Rotary does so much for this community, whether it be in the schools, whether it be through our drug programs, flag program. They're just constantly raising money and volunteering their time. And I know Dean was here as an outgoing president, but I think William was the incoming president.
That's
Yeah.
correct.
Was also sitting in the audience here. And they just do a tremendous job. And those donations are really going to go a long way to try and help out our emergency services, because we always don't have the funding available for those people, and this group steps up every time. So I want to also, just mention the Memorial Day Parade. I had some events here tonight. It was probably the worst weather we've had in a lot of years, but it was still, we had the function outside here, the memorial service that morning, and it was attended very well. We were all there, and it looked like it was going to hold out for the rain, and then all of a sudden the skies just loose. But it was something that I was glad to see went off, because it really is a true special thing every year that we look forward to attending, and it's certainly something we have to honor all the men and women that gave up their lives for us and gave us everything that we have as Americans here sitting here today. So, Commander Johnson and all the vets that volunteered their time, thank you very much for that. I told my wife I'd make it very short, and I was concerned more or less that Peter was going to carry on for an hour and a half, because today is my 37th anniversary. As you get older, things change. She's at the gym and I'm in a meeting, so that's all I had about that.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you, Mayor.
Mayor, can I just interrupt? Veronica, would you bring up a little bit what we did at Rotary with Casey?
Oh, okay. This past Saturday night, Rotary Club had their incoming installation dinner, where the new president will take over on July 1st. And during that, we give out our awards and honors to members of our club, and we do honor members of our community, and which is known as a Paul Harris Service Award. And again, it's the highest honor that can be given to a fellow Rotarian or sponsored to a member of the community or one of your family members. And what happens is that Rotary puts up, or you can put up for yourself or a family member or somebody else, $1,000 to the international fund, which helps all kinds of projects throughout the world, including the eradication of polio, which still exists in some countries in Africa. So we gave George Smith of Walmart a Paul Harris service, and we also honored Casey Parker, our Director of Public Works, for a Paul Harris. And both of them are very service above self individuals, and they both work very hard for the community. And we all know all the hard work and dedication that Casey Parker has done for this community, and no is never in his vocabulary. He is very instrumental, in our park system, in our roadway system, and keeping the infrastructure of this community intact. And you can see that just from driving around on the streets throughout the community. So he's well deserving of this, and Rotary honored him this past Saturday night with such an award.
Yes, it was very good. It was well attended. It was great. Mr. Dennis, it was great to see one of our own, Casey Parker, in honor like that. As I used to be a Rotarian, I know Paul Harrison, it is very highly, and I wanted Veronica to speak about it because she's a Rotarian, and she was very instrumental in things that went on. So I want to thank you very much.
Thank you, Veronica. And I will touch on pretty much what everybody else said. Memorial Day was well attended for the rain. I want to thank Tom for coming out on his day off. It was pouring rain. He had the camera set up for all of us. After the Rotary installation dinner, I had a chance to go to the Lacey Central alumni game. If anybody had heard about it, that's why the placard is down front. The community members saw it. We had a side bet between myself and Carmen Amato. It was a Lacey Central game. It was a fierce rivalry when I was in high school, and it had the adults put on full pads and play real football. So Lacey won, as usual. So I won a dinner from Carmen Amato. Carmen had got the placard done, and he had a trophy presentation at midfield for the winner. So I just want to thank him for that. I had a school board meeting, myself and Commander McDonald, to go over different, drug issues within the school, and we're just trying to make sure just understand what they're doing and how they're going about it. As Pete touched on, I had a meeting with both the governor's office and the auditor's office, and as Pete had indicated, it's always great to have that face-to-face contact. I will say that surprisingly, the higher levels of government do keep excellent contact with the local officials, at least in my experience. They're constantly, they have somebody that tries to make themselves available to the township at both the federal level and the state level. And we did mostly talk about the power plant at the governor's meeting and also the partners meeting. In addition to that, I attended Oyster Creek's information night on Monday and Tuesday to also go over some of the preliminary plant closing information that was available. It's very early stages of it, even though they do have a hard date for closing on November 30th. And there was some, I guess there's some things that we're going to try to do for them that will help the township in the future without going into too much detail. And finally, I was asked by code enforcement just to remind people going into the summer season that if your neighbors or there's property that's not being maintained well, to try to notify his office as soon as possible, because if there is a time period, a lag where he has to go out and issue some time. So that is all I have. And with that, I will open it up to the public. Does the public have any questions or comments?
Thunder is always on my speech. First off, the last time I see a meeting posted on a website, Channel 21, was back in April.
Speak to the school. I don't post them there. I don't film them.
I'll talk to you about it later.
Okay, because May 12th, May 26th, there's
All right.
nothing.
All right.
Okay. You're still funded, right?
Yeah, I could do it. Just,
Oh,
okay. You
Oh,
could
it's
always
for-
call me. You
It's
can always
not
call
for me,
me.
it's for the public.
I understand.
You know,
I understand.
if they don't see what goes on here, all the good things that these people are saying, it doesn't get communicated.
Okay.
You know, unless they actually come
I
to
understand.
meetings.
Yeah.
And there's very few of us that do that. So, you know, rather than speak about non-transparency in local government, it's quite an instrument for you to capitalize on and get your word out, okay, to the citizens of the town. Along with that, there's no agenda posted for tonight's meeting. on the
Probably is,
website.
we're probably not looking at the right spot on the
Well,
agenda
that's-
since we've changed the website.
Okay, because
Yes.
I usually go to the calendar and then click right on the caucus meeting and then the agenda comes up.
And we might have changed where that's posted. I'd have to double check, but I don't have access to it right now.
Okay, if there is a change, can you let people know so that when they do want to, I won't come if there's something I want to talk about. But if there is things to talk about, they see it on the agenda, then people will want to come and will want to talk about it, so you communicate it in advance. Okay, that's that. Is it okay if Mayor, if I address your deputy mayor in reference to the health department?
Sure.
Deputy Mayor Karen Coleman, you are the liaison for the health department.
That's
At the
true.
last meeting, which was recently held, I believe Monday
Wednesday.
or Wednesday?
Wednesday.
Wednesday it was, well, last night. Anything on Zika?
Yeah.
What?
I don't attend the meetings because I'm in the employ, so I don't leave my workspace to attend the meetings. But I will tell you, as I have been very above board as liaison to the Lacey Health Department here, and our last, not this past meeting, but 1 month ago, there was a piece on Lacey Reporter. And so the latest that we have on Zika, I would reference everyone to the County Health Department's website, which is ochd.org. Telephone number, and I'll give you the information you want.
No, I can look it up. I
Let me
just want to
preface
know
it with
what's
this.
being, what's in work.
732-341-9700, and ask for public information. We have several, and I don't have them in front of me right now, and if I knew that you were coming here, I would have had them ready for you. But we have several public information worksheets on it. So with specific regard to Zika, we have had our first case in New Jersey. Okay, and that was, it was determined by public health professionals and physicians that person had contracted it outside of New Jersey or outside the United States. So when we talk about prevention, our public health coordinator is talking with the Mosquito Commission, has had conference calls with Chris Rinn, who I believe is the number 2 at the New Jersey State Health Department, as health commissioner. And so what they are doing now is a public information effort talking about exactly and specifically what we can do to prevent. What we don't want you to do is spray mosquito spray inside a house. We have the Ocean County Mosquito Commission line, What we're also talking about is the standing water. If you have pool water that's not chlorinated, I know there's some houses that weren't lived in right now, some senior homes that haven't been engaged already. If you have water on top of the car, we're talking about, that's where the larvae are. The benefit to us in this state is this, and this is where we're different from the Caribbean, and we don't want to push any public health panic buttons. We have a frost here. We have a winter. The larvae die, the mosquitoes die. They're dead. Other warmer climates in more temperate areas don't enjoy that luxury. We have it. And those mosquitoes, those specific mosquitoes that are carrying the Zika virus have not, to this day, to the best of my knowledge, as of today, been spotted in New Jersey. So anything that you see or hear about Zika, the one case that we've had in the state so far, again, was contracted either outside the state, but I hesitate to say with certainty that it was outside the continental United States, but I believe it was contracted in the Caribbean. But
I thought it was Honduras, but that's okay.
what we don't want to do is push any public health.
Well, I'm more interested in, living in Sunrise Beach.
Sure.
Since 1985, I'm always seeing helicopters all summer long, going over the Edwin Forsyth Wildlife Management Area especially.
Right.
And the Mosquito Control Commission is constantly doing flyovers, many different times a week. What I'm interested in is the county allotted any more money to the Mosquito Commission to address it? That's my question. And my question to the Township Committee, if they would support that we have a very large, off-base site with standing water. The other thing I would want to know is, in reference to standing water, does the township parks have any ponds
No,
that are not aerated?
they don't have ponds in the park.
Okay, so we don't have to worry about any non-aerated ponds in the township. So mostly it's what Mr. Caratolo said, it's private property and small pieces of water, tires and bird baths and things like that. But we do have a rather large back bay area in the town. And if more money could be shifted, from what I understand, there's two different kinds of mosquitoes now. One from the southern hemisphere, there's another that just they found out is also carrying virus that's located from the northern hemisphere that may just come to affect us eventually. So just to be in the ready to address it, it's better to have prevention and plans in advance than to chase it after it's already started. And that's all I'm bringing up.
Absolutely, and this is something that the county health department has been above board with for many months now. It's not something that just started the other day. I actually have the meeting minutes from May 11th, 2016. If you like, I could share some of the.
Well, maybe they should go up on the website or have a
We
clip.
put stuff about
Good.
Zika up
No,
on our
that's
website.
good. The more
And we
information
put it
you
on our
get out, the
Facebook
better.
page as well, and we do have a link to the Ocean County Board of Health as well. And with regards to funding, they're part of the Department of Agriculture. So they get funding through the State Department of Agriculture, not through the County of Ocean or the Ocean County Board of Health,
Okay.
which is a separate entity from the county
So it's
as
a
well.
state function.
Yes.
As the mayor just said, though, you have state representatives that you speak to all the time.
Yeah.
Okay. The other thing I wanted to mention that may have some effect in reference to mosquito control is back in the late 80s and early 90s, the big brown bat and the small brown bat were devastated in the state, okay, by some kind of a virus and disease that just decimated the numbers. Bats can eat 1,000 mosquitoes an hour and 10 times their weight of dead.
100,000.
Okay.
Agreed.
When I first moved here, there was a very large population of bats in the Sunrise Beach area along those back bay areas. Now, there's none. Okay? That perhaps the county could do something with the reintroduction, okay, of a natural predator for mosquitoes in the way of bats by somehow maybe providing low-cost bat houses to people who are willing to put them up, or to put them up on state or township land. Okay, I know that there's other towns that have involved Boy Scouts as a method of building those bat houses and putting them up as projects for badges and things. So there's creative things that could be done.
That does
to
get
also
done. We do
address
have
it.
a few Boy Scouts that have done that. There's a few bat houses in Gilly Park.
Yeah.
Which again, walking that trail, that pathway, you're not going to see it because you have to go
Right,
with your
correct.
head all the time.
They gotta be up in the sun. That's
Yes.
okay. What else? Municipal Alliance. I've been banned from the Municipal Alliance meetings by Mr. Mo, so I don't go. All right? Because I guess I'm not looked at very favorably. But we still get a stipend from the state for the municipal alliance every year? And last time I heard, it was like 35 grand?
That comes from the state to the county and then filtered to us based on a grant application that Municipal Alliance puts in every year, yes.
Okay, and that, last I looked at it, was about 30 to 35,000 a year?
Yeah, we're somewhere around the 43.
No, it might be lower than that.
I thought it was about, it's around that range, yeah. Off the top of my head, I don't remember.
Okay. The reason I'm bringing up the subject here is because if I go to the meeting, I'm going to get booed, and I'm used to getting booed, but I thought I'd bring it up anyway. The last two meetings, one for the Board of Education and one here, you were addressed by a father who lost his son
Right.
from heroin. And you addressed it, and you all, took it to heart. The money that you get in your municipal alliance, part of that money is directed towards saving kids from this disease.
Substance abuse in general.
Okay, substance
Correct.
abuse, drugs, alcohol. And the other part goes to senior citizens. Do you have any direction on where the money is allocated, or is it done specifically by the people who are in the municipal alliance?
Okay, let me
Yes,
answer
yes,
that.
I was going to say, you're well versed in that.
Okay, so when you talk about the municipal alliance, there's an elaborate planning piece that goes into it. It's a comprehensive plan that's made and it's revisited each year. And in that plan, there's a problem statement. The problem statement, as it turned out, based on evidence-based searches and statistics in Lacey Township, was prescription drugs. In other townships, it may be underage drinking, etc. Okay, so when the state, some of this funding comes from GCADA. GCADA is the Governor's Council on Alcohol and Drug Abuse. So they have a very tight, and there's quarterly reporting for municipal alliance coordinators. So every quarter, you have to allot for every penny. Any program that you do is an evidence-based program. That means it was measured scientifically with pre-tests and post-tests to show efficacy for the programs. They don't want to see that you're at a petting zoo. They don't want to see you being willy-nilly with the money. They want to, the state is focused on what best serves the young people and seniors, the whole portion of the township. So, to that end, each program has to have what we call an ATOD component. That's ATOD, alcohol, tobacco, or other drug component. These programs are delivered either by a municipal alliance coordinator, who is a CPS, a certified prevention specialist, or it is essentially subbed out to a professional or the police department, other partners in the township. You'll have members of the school board that help deliver programs. You'll have residents and volunteers. And some of those will be seniors. You'll see that at our senior luncheon each month at Community Hall. Some of them will be students from the high school. But these programs have a pinpoint focus on just the things that resident, Mr. Amalia, was talking about. And you could have every assurance. All of the municipal alliance coordinators in the county, each municipal coordinator answers up to a county coordinator. The county coordinator works at the county health department. And all of those quarterly reports from all of the county coordinators are vetted not only through the municipal alliance coordinator, but then the county coordinators. Those programs are tested and researched for efficacy. Then they have to be not only approved at the funds not only have to be approved at the county level, but the state level as well in Trenton and Chicago. So there are many different programs. All of the programs have been tested. Now, not every program reaches every person. And sometimes funding does run dry, and sometimes the sponge hits a saturation point. And unfortunately, very unfortunately, we can't, at some point, personal responsibility has to take over. But I'll submit this to you. Back in 1985, 1986, when I was in high school, we had virtually nothing. And now, there is a virtual army of people standing shoulder to shoulder to combat this scourge at every level, municipal, township, county, and state.
I'm not questioning that the money is not being spent or accounted for. My question is the fact that, as you said, scourge, and it's now,
Right.
can more assets be shifted from the senior citizen pot to the drug war pot? That's my question, that's all. In other words, if the senior citizens in this town live a pretty good life, okay? I mean, you know, we have a lot of parks that other towns don't have. We have a lot of great things in this town that a lot of events in the town that other towns don't have. Maybe we don't need as many cookie and coffee shops, sit-downs, and we need more handouts at the municipal court as these youngsters are walking out from being charged and somebody handed them those handouts to be printed. I'm saying that maybe, is there a way to shift more money towards drugs and away from the senior citizens?
That's the core focus of any alliance. So what we try to do, I mean, to the best of my knowledge, and I think you know what I'm talking about, there aren't two, as you say, pots of money. There is an allotment that comes from the Governor's Council on Alcohol and Drug Abuse in Trenton to the municipalities based on an elaborate formula that include demographics of the town and population. There's no set aside for different age groups. I can tell you that with certainty.
Okay. All right, I didn't know.
No, absolutely.
So I wanted to know.
And I do have additional information here that does talk about some of the efforts around this. Like I said, these are the meeting minutes from the Board of Health.
Okay.
If you'd like me to.
The county board of health.
The county board of health. We could talk about that, or I could meet you privately one-on-one.
If they're online, I can access it that way, because when I'm out of town, that's how I check on you guys. So, who's the zoning liaison?
Zoning liaison to the building department?
No, zoning, to the zoning board. Would it be
That,
you?
well, oversees that department, yes.
Okay. I recently went into a new business in town. It's an ammunition store that's on Route 9. And I had a conversation with the person in the counter. I just wanted to see the business, and you know, having been a former hunter, I had some interest in some of the products. And I was wondering why they sell only ammunition and not guns. And what I was told was that the township zoning rejected the sale of guns out of that facility. And
I don't believe that's accurate, exactly.
well, what I want to know is, there's two sides to every story. So he gives me one side. What's the other side? Are we not going to allow a legal business to transpire when we have individuals living over by the high school selling guns out of their cellars?
So how the codes generally work in town, or attorney backing up, is that in that particular case, it's not specific, it's not prohibited, nor is it allowed in the town, in our code book. So when it's that type of use, since it's not specifically named that you're allowed to sell guns in a commercial zone, then they're required to seek variance.
Okay.
No different from any other business. I hesitate to use the examples of corner shop, but it's
No, I understand. Did they seek a variance?
I believe they're in the process of.
They're in the process, so they haven't been denied at this point, but they're in the process of getting, yeah, I mean, that makes sense, okay? As you said, if it's a permitted use and they need a variance, then they gotta be like everybody else and go get a variance. That's all there's to it, they gotta pay for it. But I couldn't understand why, there's people selling weaponry out of your cellars, that's legal, and yet we have a business that wants this open in town, and they were not able to do it. So.
The short answer for that is we have more control over businesses.
Correct, that I understand. One more question, and then I'll be done, and you'll say thank God. Does the township oversee any boat ramps in town?
No, we do not.
You do not?
We do not.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Anybody else?
Hi, my name is Jack Wamsley, 838 Fort Peak Drive. I'm the president of the Sunrise Beach Homeowners Association. At a recent meeting of the Sunrise Beach Homeowners Association, we had a number of residents that had concerns over property maintenance code, people storing boats on their property, people not cutting their grass along the edge of the road, and stuff like that. So I said that the best way to handle it would be come here before the township committee and let them present their cases to you personally. Okay, so, Rocky?
Yeah.
Hi. My name's Rocco Larisol. I live at 824 Windward Drive, Fulton River. I also own a home on Sunrise Boulevard, number 836. The house before me is 834. It's been in total neglect for the past 4 years. I specifically took pictures of this property, okay, to show you people. I don't know where the code enforcement is, but he's not coming down Sunrise Boulevard. There's another piece of property on 835 Windward Drive. The grass is over 18 inches high. The guy moved to Florida. His daughter lives in the house. Apparently she can't cut the grass. All right? The gentleman was worried about ticks and fleas and everything. This is where they all grow. The grass gets wet and they lay their larvae. If I may, I'd like to show you these pictures. That's long overdue.
Have you called code enforcement and seen where he's at with these properties?
Pardon me?
Have you called the code enforcement officer?
I've called the code enforcement, okay, 4 times over the past year. I also work, okay, and I get home at 5 o'clock at night. I work 85 miles away.
He has email and he does have voicemail and.
Right.
Violation has been issued for,
Code
that
enforcement
address
was out
actually.
there on 6/6/16.
That was a follow-up, right? Yeah.
And it just, who gets the summons?
The homeowner or the mortgage company.
Yeah.
The property owner.
The property owner, okay? I also understand that there's a bench warrant out for this property owner, okay, who lives in Millburn, okay? I don't understand why he's not picked up.
They usually, what happens with a bench
Yeah,
warrant?
so what is the typical process our code enforcement doesn't specifically go out and just look for violations, is that correct?
Most of the code enforcement violations are based on caller-generated calls. And as you can know, you can call them in anonymously, you can leave your name. We can't give out the information as to who called it in. We're not allowed to by law. So if you're fearful that of retaliation, that can happen. A person cannot overrule who complains about me. So the call's made, code enforcement officer will go out and inspect the site. We'll take pictures of the site and document the site if there's any violations. For example, with the grass, it can take more than 30 days to get that rectified if the homeowner fails to do it. And then there's usually a second notice that is sent out before the town would go in and mow the grass and then place a lien on it.
Okay.
And again, beauty is not always, like what you think is in disrepair may not be in disrepair in accordance with the code.
You mind if I show you these pictures?
Yeah,
Please.
one more thing. So what, the rough time frame, Veronica, so this gentleman called code enforcement.
That one has been like that for 2 to 3 years.
Is this in the front yard or is it behind the
Right,
fence?
oh, right, adjust.
Okay, because if it's something behind a fence, we have no right to look over that fence to find it, just so you know that. So if you can see it from a second-story window, we can't hop over the fence and take a look in somebody's
can
backyard.
see it right from the street.
Okay, well, I just wanted to put that out there, because we had somebody call and complain, I don't remember the street address, about somebody's yard, and when we went out there was nothing there, because it was all behind a fence.
So wait, one more thing. So if this gentleman calls up tomorrow, what is the typical lead time before, what is the, how long does it take before the issue gets resolved?
If it's a zoning violation, they have to rectify it within 5 days. With code enforcement such as property maintenance, it's a minimum of like 30 days. And sometimes the people can ask for an extension, and they're granted a 30-day extension.
Right,
What about the boat? What about the boat that abuts my property? Okay.
Which boats? I see 2 stop boats. But guys, sorry, Mayor.
At the end of 60 days, then what would happen? They would
A warrant out for the arrest, not a warrant, excuse me, they'll get a summons and they'll have to appear in court, but that doesn't mean they're gonna clean up their property, and we don't go in and remove things like this. Now, this boat that you have here, if it's registered, there's no violation.
There's no registration on it. You can see there's no decal on it.
Well, it doesn't mean that they put it on there. And
There's no registration on the trailer, and there's no registration on the boat.
And I do believe that, I don't know if that's the property.
He has it, for the property in question. Unregistered boats, he's cited for that. Miscellaneous trash and debris, he's cited for that. Overgrown grass, cited for that. So
And again, we don't go in and remove the boats and the cars and all of that. So we'll mow the grass, but we're not gonna go in and remove those items.
I'm not concerned about the township, okay, cutting the grass, okay? That wood on the other side of the house is termite infested. There's vermin living in the property because I have raccoon feces on my property.
But we're not gonna go in and remove it, and we keep issuing summonses and bringing the person back to court, and they're gonna keep getting fined. That's
I understand,
our
okay, so in
mechanism.
other words, I'm supposed to live with a health issue, okay? Because nothing can be done until this guy decides to come about, why can't
He does eventually.
So what happens, so.
Can I ask a question? In a town that I came from before I lived here, if there was a problem like this, the town would go in, clean up the property, or get a contractor to rectify the situation and put a lien on the house.
So.
Why
We do
can't-
in
we do-
certain instances, but we won't remove the vehicles or anything else because that falls under a different regulation and what we have to do to remove those vehicles. I mean, you know, we can't become the property maintenance, you know, here at the township. We don't have enough manpower and force to do that. We do follow within the law. I'd have to go out to bid to hire a contractor to do that all the time.
I'm wondering like about the pile of wood. I mean, the pile of wood has been there for many years. It's now not firewood anymore, it's rotten wood, which is now holding moisture, drawing bugs potentially. Could it be a mosquito heaven? I don't know. I wonder the boats that are there, that are abandoned. I'm sure there's probably sitting water in those boats.
He has, it's in here.
I mean, the house has been.
He's issued a violation for
He's issued
those
a violation
items.
for those items.
So can't, but I wonder,
So there's a process to it. We can, we have to follow a process.
okay, but at the end of the process, if it's, I mean, because we can get off of this guy and then talk about other boats. Because I thought a boat, if it's on your property, had to at least go into water once every year or something, or once every 2 years. It could not just be left on property, never moving.
That's, from my understanding, unless the boat, the only way tax issue a violation on the boat or any vehicle on your property is that it cannot be registered. If it's not registered. If it's registered, I don't think there's an ordinance for how many of.
Nope, there's not.
No,
Yeah, but it's in other words, so if you register a boat, you could just leave it on your front lawn forever.
Yes.
And not put your details.
We have somebody
because-
who has cars in not disrepair, but they no longer run in another section of town, 5 cars. He was summoned for that. He went out and registered and insured all of them. They don't even run.
Just some backstory. I believe this came up 1 year ago. They tried. Hang on. I believe the township at one point did try to
Limit the number of boats.
boats on property, and it was, Illinois. So
Yeah,
We tried to do that, and matter of fact, it was a step further, because it was in Sunrise too, where we had a lot of people complaining about campers, they didn't want campers parking in the front yards of the houses. You know, whatever we put in effect is gonna help somebody but hurt somebody else. So we're very, slow at putting new laws on folks, unfortunately, just so we don't, create more additional problems down the road. I can tell you one thing, I have a situation like this in Riviera, which I dealt with all last year when I was sitting in Steve's seat. And once it gets into the cycle of the court, and Mr. Daffney has the summons issued and it gets to the court, it can be coming back to court every 30 days, every 60 days. Because one of the guys that I was dealing with, he must pay $4,000 worth of fines. And I saw him this year, he finally went out and hired Foreshore Weed Control and paid $178. So some of these people just, they blow it off, and it's just such a waste of their money. But this, I would think this one, if we get to the point where the summons is issued, that we should be able to take and have Public Works at least cut down the grass in the front of the property.
Yes.
And we'll add it onto the tax bill of the house. The back, we can't do, we can't gain access to the back of the property.
I understand that.
And just say, in addition, the counter argument for limiting the amount of boats on property is that the people that generally have boats on their property live near the water, and the argument is that they pay an awful lot of property taxes, and so they want to be able to at least save some money and leave their boat on their property. So for as many people that don't like boats on their property, there is a large number of people that actually want the boat there, because they're paying a lot of property taxes to begin with.
There's boats on the property, and there's junk boats on the
I'm
property.
not disputing it, but again, because they're not registered.
This is something that was in a yard for 15 years and got towed from one property to another
It's
property.
summons.
Yeah.
Summons on it.
Right.
If you're concerned about anything public health, you have the right as a taxpayer to call the county health department, and they'll send somebody from the environmental department out to investigate. It's a PHI, a public health investigator.
And they're able to walk on the property.
Well, they can't trespass behind the fence either. Just the
I
front.
don't work in that part of the department, but I do know that somebody
Okay,
will go
yeah, I
out.
understand what you're saying.
Well, it's an open, I don't even know if it's a temporary fence.
I know for a fact that there are
It's
people that go
visual,
out.
you can see it.
Yeah, if it's
It's
visual, then
not
it's cold
a,
and
it's not a
everything.
picket fence. I don't think it's a chain link fence.
It's not, it's not.
And if it is chain link, it's only a temporary fence.
I'll call him.
But can they look into the issue of the fact that the wood is rotten? Because it's, I mean, it's quite unsightly, and it's certainly, it can't be good for anyone's health then.
These are licensed or certified individuals. I know if you call them, they will go out there. And that'll be the county that does that. And they've done that before.
We will double check with Mr. Downing to make sure that he has miscellaneous trash and debris on property must be removed. So we'll talk to him and see exactly what he wrote up.
Okay, no problem. You want those pictures? You want to keep them? I got another set.
Yeah, I can, I'll make sure you get it done. Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Thank you, sir.
Did anybody else?
Anybody else?
Bruce?
Which, you know, sir, what street address was this? This is all from the same house, right? What street address was this?
834.
834, okay.
That's 834.
All right.
And I own the house right next to it, 836.
All right, great, no problem, thank you.
You said
I know, my name is Barbara Malone, 8 Street, Line Drive.
Please, we're recording this meeting.
On Bowline Drive, 801, there's a boat. I built my house in 2001, the boat's been there since then. It's not registered. I have complained. I've walked in person to code enforcement. I've called about it. Whether he's gotten summoned, I don't know. The boat's still there with a for sale sign on it. I don't think we haven't sold it in 15 years. We're going to, but it's unregistered. The registration is from years ago because we have a boat. I know it's one of those colors from way back. And it just sits there. And I have complained about it.
Okay, what's the address?
801 Bowline.
And again, it doesn't mean just because it doesn't have the current sticker on it that the guy doesn't have it registered. We have access to the DMV system, we run those registrations. And, you know, if it comes back in the system that it's registered, just because he didn't put the stickers on it, there's no violation.
Well, I don't know if the person was just talking to me about it, whatever, but when I asked that, and they said you could have one unregistered boat on your property.
Okay,
And that was the excuse I was given as to why nothing was done
Mr.
about it.
Downing said that, or?
No, it was a girl.
Okay, well, okay,
It was
so
on the
I'll
phone, so
double
I'm
check.
not sure who it was.
I'll double check with him, okay?
Yeah, and that's what
He
they
does have a
said, and I
secretary
said,
now.
you know, it doesn't seem right, it's that many years. It's sitting right in his driveway, like,
So we'll double check.
thank you.
Anything else?
My name is Bob Curtis. I live at 802 Ensign Drive in Port River. A little bit of the same story, maybe just a different address, a little bit longer time, for about the last 8 to 10 years. 848 Ensign Drive has been effectively abandoned. I've asked, I've been in township offices a number of times. I spoke with Mr. Downing. He came out, take a look at it, and said he really couldn't do much except enforce safety issues, where they had this triangulation with stop signs and other things. But if it imposed or if it caused any safety issues, then he would be able to do something. Recently, I've been in Senator Connor's office 4 times, and 4 times he's ignored me. I've tried to get help with this house.
Is that at the end of the lagoon?
Pardon me?
They're the ones at the end of the lagoon?
That's the first house on the right-hand side?
Yes.
Oh, the first house, right now you go on.
It's right on Sunrise and
That is an active case file with us, and it is abandoned, am I not correct?
We believe so. Recently, on May 18th, it went up for sheriff's sale. Somebody paid the taxes, so the sale was canceled. It's clear to me that when someone has a bad time, everyone tries to work with them, maybe even the government, but 8 to 10 years seems to be an awfully long time. I think these people have pretty well made their case. They're not going to really do anything. They simply know how to hang on to it and make everyone else suffer. The property has never been touched since Sandy. A couple of times JCP&L had to come out and do some work. And when they do, they really don't have much choice but to push the hedgerow up. They really don't have the money or time to restore it. The bulkheads are gone. I've seen people in there. I called the police one time and said, you know, if you see something, say something. I called them. They came out, and when I asked the officer, you know, what we were doing, he said, you really kind of overreacted. They were just looking at it like, you know, the real estate sale or something like that. Yet the house has no sign on it. I continue to watch the property. It's right out my front door. It's very discouraging to pay high taxes. At one time, that house was the most highest tax levy in town, and it's completely in disarray. I really don't know what to do.
Well, I think, for starters, we have a lot of properties that we've talked about here tonight, and I'm sure there's probably a list more, that if I can get a list of these properties, I don't know if you want to coordinate it through you, Jack, and then we can get back a response as to, you know, some of these are very active files, and unfortunately, the mortgage companies, and again, even, let's put it this way, I walk away from my house, but the bank hasn't flipped that house into their name. The only person I go after, and the only address I may have, is still that person living in that house, and there's nobody there. We have nobody else to contact, and that's what's happening, is that even though these mortgage companies or banks may ultimately be the owner, they're not flipping the house into their name, so we don't have any way of reaching them.
When I asked Senator Connors to come out to my house, never having met him, I simply want to have, you know, some understanding of how this works.
He has reached out to us about the Ensign Drive house, because Senator Connors has reached out to us about the Ensign Drive house based on, he said, a resident coming in, and we did respond with our case file to him.
Well, again, we're into another season. People want to enjoy the water. They want to come down. It's a gateway to our community. People are getting older. They want to sell, recover some of their investment. They see that house, and they say, you know, what's this about?
Yeah, well, if I get a list, like I said, if you want to coordinate it through Mr. Nasi, and then I can go through the case files and see where we're at with them, and respond to let you know the status of each one. And then if there's some of them that aren't on our list that we're not aware of course the code enforcement officer will go out and inspect and see if there are any violations.
Most of us are trying to understand, going through it on the internet, or how a search sale works.
Yeah.
Well, that's through the county. That's through the county.
No, when the township has a stake in this too, because we don't see.
We don't have a stake in it unless there's a lien
You have
on
to
it.
understand, right, we have limited control over what we can and can't do. So if somebody's paying their property taxes and, you know, and we're issuing summons and they're paying the fines on it, or you know, we're disregarding the summons and just letting their fines accumulate in court. If somebody else doesn't take, at some point, if somebody doesn't take responsibility of that property, yes, it can stay in disrepair for an awful long time. You just work the system.
The bank sends out people now, and it's comical. They'll take a tape measure and they go to a piece of grass that's really gone pretty high, and they take a photograph with their cell phone and send it off. And they'll put their leaf blower in the driveway to show that they did bring that piece of equipment today. 840 Ensign Drive used to be stone covered. Now the weeds are so thick there that they take a ride-on mower on there, which, I mean, that could be like, you know, all kind of things flying out of it. So I've asked too that, you know, why it just really can't be cleaned up from Sandy. I mean, the town did a great job picking up all this stuff, and why can't the same thing happen here with this property? At least why can't the bank just get the outside shaped up? If they won't let the inside rot away.
Because as Brian just stated, if somebody walked away from the house, the bank doesn't own it. That person still owns it.
And they'll tell you that too, because we will make contact with the mortgage company, and they're like, we're not the owners, they're the owners.
Yeah,
Even though we
take
know
time,
we're being
somebody has to
foreclosed.
take title of the property, the title of your property. If they don't have title of the property, it's not their property. They may have a mortgage on the property, but it doesn't mean it's their property. They don't have the responsibility to take care of it.
And they'll tell you that they're not in the house repair business. This is something all new to these mortgage companies and banks. You know, with all these houses becoming vacant and abandoned, they don't have the departments to maintain that, and then they come right out and tell us
And
that.
never mind Sunrise, I mean, we have these houses sprinkled throughout town.
Well, with the tax expectations that people have here, I think we really need help keeping the properties at least.
All we can do is, again, send the code enforcement out. He can issue someone for pretty much the same thing that he just issued here. Basically, if there's unregistered vehicles, there's, you know, grants to be trimmed and debris removal. That's about as best we can do as a township. And then if they, you know, we can send Casey out to cut and then issue, and then put a further lien on the property. That's all we could really do.
So the way, so just gonna go on,
What's,
just gonna go on
we're going for, it's again, somebody, yeah, I mean, again, if somebody's paying their taxes on it, and they're paying, we're not gonna take that. So the township, if they're paying their taxes, they're fulfilling that obligation.
And the mortgage companies are paying the taxes on their behalf as well.
Right.
The only other option is if it's an unfit house.
And that's unfit would be the construction code official, and most of the time they're not in that type of condition. Just because the paint is peeling and stuff doesn't make it unfit. But again, if I could get a master list, I'd be more than happy to go through it, because I'm sure this is just a small group of houses.
Yeah, because we could send out a blanket email and just have people respond to the email with the addresses, and then we can forward the email, to the township.
I'll go out and take a look at anything.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so coordinate that, Jack, if you would, and I appreciate that, thank you.
Anything else?
Bruce Creighton, 802 Bowline. Just a question on the registration of boats, because I've seen exactly what you're talking about on Sunrise. You ride down Sunrise, there's boats that have been sitting here for years, and they actually, see, they wipe the mold off the side and put a, registration sticker on the side. But to me, that doesn't solve the issue. I mean, if somebody can leave a boat, registered or unregistered, sitting in your yard, deteriorating, and just becoming a major eyesore for the community, I think we have to go forward and look and say, maybe we need to change some of the regulations or the code.
And the other thing is that the phone call doesn't come into our offices to say, hey, listen, I think there's a boat in disrepair, or there's an unregistered boat or car on our property. We don't know about it. We have over 12,000 homes in town, not counting the businesses that are in violation. So we ask that you pick up the phone and you help us and you let us know. So it might be a house, again, he gets in his vehicle and he's going to a house on Wave Drive. He may drive right by this house on Bowline, and that's not what he's looking for that day,
But I'm talking, but I think, what I hear, I thought I was in the same feeling as Jack was, that not only you have to have it registered, but you gotta move it off your property every once, and not just store the boat on your property. But maybe it is or isn't, I don't know for sure.
I don't think under the law, we can regulate it, say you have to move it off your property. Now, I know that, like, if you had a peddling and soliciting license and you were selling hot dogs, yes, you have to move every 15 minutes from different property lines to different property line. I don't think I can regulate your personal property, such as your boat, that once a season you gotta move it off and throw it in the water. I don't think we can regulate that.
Okay, that's fair, I mean.
Yeah.
But I guess now that I understand that, I will, make sure we do make our phone calls and,
Yeah, I would drop them an email or, drop the list off to Jack or something, yeah.
Okay, great, thank you very much.
Anything else?
People doing car repair.
Come on up.
Oh, someone. We have one resident that this has been going an ongoing battle for years. And they're repairing automobiles at their home. Now, they're in conflict with legitimate businesses in the town. I know the code enforcement officer went out there. The guy told him that he is buying the cars, fixing them up and selling them. That's a business.
Okay. We have to have the exchange of an invoice or money to prove that he's running a business. Just because he's has a hobby of repairing cars and then reselling them does not make it a business.
And I'll say this, at Meet the Mayor night, this comes up quite a bit, it's not in some ways, all over town, but it's the same, as Ronnie indicated, if somebody's fixing cars out of their house, it's very difficult to regulate them or stop them from doing it. You have to prove it. Besides, it's the same thing as the guns. If somebody's selling guns out of their house, it's very difficult for us to control that. I mean, there's rules of that, there's rules.
But there should be,
We've got it, don't worry,
They've been there 600.
And again, that also says,
I don't want to put it, I might be totally wrong. But in any event, it's to the volume that he's had 3 and 4 cars here at a time that he's working on. There's no way in hell. This guy's repairing cars. He's doing it for a living, but you can't prove it, and I understand that. So, I mean, there has to be somewhere that we could pass an ordinance that says that you cannot set a volume of cars. I mean, I know that I got the zoning.
I agree, it's just, it's, again, how do you decide what's the volume and who's proving it? We're not, nobody's gonna sit, we're not gonna have an officer sit there and, you know.
You don't have to sit there, just go to your weekend.
But you also run into the issue where you have homes where there are a high volume of people living there, and each has a car, and so you're
Oh, no,
affecting
no,
them
no,
as well.
no. Yeah, that's right, but that's not
So,
the case.
you know, that's the hard part.
Because we're all different cars.
I'm sure you're correct, however.
I know. Anyway, it would be something interesting to research and look into.
If you could figure out a way to write it and where it's enforceable.
I'll go on a mission around the state and find someone that's written. Again, hasn't been challenged. Okay.
One question would be whether, if indeed what the resident alleges is true, where they put the oil in the antifreeze.
Correct.
Where they put the repair
Exactly.
products and byproducts of the repair.
Sadly, they could be dumping oil in our recycling.
Yeah,
It's small. You know, he's trying to keep the system as it is.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you have to find somebody, you know, that brings their car in that's not happy, that's willing to come and testify.
Yeah, and that's the problem, because you've done with this,
Yeah.
you were there numerous
So,
times.
you know, if you would take your car there and just come back and tell us you're not happy.
There you go. Thank you.
Anything else?
That's
That's it.
Anybody else?
Motion?
Motion to close the floor.
Move it.
Thanks.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion adjourned?
Move it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We need to do.
Okay.